truth.
I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh, let's tell you what the date is, because it's government does. They're good at that. July 29th, it's a Monday, 2026. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Well, what am I supposed to say about this, huh? Over the weekend, I don't think that we realize over the weekend what the Strait of Hormuz really is, and I do believe that the only one who has honestly been stirring the stick is Israel. Because everything that they keep talking about, what we've done this, or we've done that, or this happened there, or this happened that, let's not use the word we. Let's not use the word USA. Let's use the word Israel. Anyway, let's see if I can get to do a little tune-up here on this. Let's see, get me a little closer. Boom! Hey, guys, how's it going today? It's a hell of a windy day here in Wichita. It's been a lot, and so today I have my hair pulled back. So if any of you guys are wondering why my hair looks like this, is because it is pulled back. We had a hell of a rain the last few weeks here in Wichita, and then this just last 3 days, it has been in the 90s. So we're right back into summer, right where we belong, and doing great. So good stuff. Anyway, just kind of one of those things, how life works. But anyway, I pulled my hair back. Super, super windy today. And just wanted to let you guys know, if someone was wondering, every now and again, so you guys will know that, hey, my hair's got pulled back a little bit. So anyway, so I don't know, like I said, I don't like how this thing keeps coming out. I do worry about what's going on, and I do think the exposure of things are going to be coming out. I think that there's going to be some stuff that we'll see, and a lot of justice will be had, and I think people will have to make decisions. So today we had a bit of a kick in the gut, and I don't know why this is. Now, guys, listen, I have been an election integrity person since I saw it in 2016 myself. I had people in 2014 and before tell me about different types of election issues, different types of things that were electoral, this, electoral, that. And then in 2016, when I saw it in my own election, I was like, wow, that's amazing. But then I got to know Dr. Douglas Frank, and I got to know others, including Mike Lindell, and people who have actually researched and looked into these things and have got all kinds of amazing evidence to go with it. Now, this is the Supreme Court, for some reason, is on a hot take right now, and this is usually kind of their thing. They do a bunch of releases right before the summer to go on their summer break. I guess they get summer break. And there's been times where they've worked during the summer breaks. Sometimes they don't work during the summer breaks. But anyway, they're releasing a bunch of stuff. Today, another release. Supreme Court on Monday ruled 5-4 that federal law does not require mail-in ballots to be received by Election Day. The lawsuit challenged the mail-in ballots was filed by Republican National Committee and the Libertarian Party of Mississippi. Conservative Justice Amy Coney Barrett wrote the majority opinion, and state law allowing mail-in ballots to be counted after Election Day do not conflict with federal law. So the problem with this is, guys, and I don't, again, how they got there, did all that stuff, that's cool. But when I look around and I'm saying, hey, guys, we have a problem with elections. We have a problem with things how they are. Now, I'm not saying throw the baby in the bathwater out, but I'm saying is that we do need to take the opportunities. If we have a way to kind of wedge this down, just get in there and do a little this or that to kind of get things cleaned up a little bit, I think we should. And it absolutely should be like a priority. But we can't have that conversation because there are legal things that come along, right? We can't just say, oh, hey, that makes sense. Let's just not do mail-in ballots after the Election Day. Or we can allow for 1 or 2 days. But the sad part of it is the ability to validate those that are on Election Day or after Election Day and then be able to get signature notification, all this other stuff, is absolutely just, that's where it all falls apart. And so the idea, the Trojan horse of it is to let the election, the post-election mail-in ballots roll in. That's fine. That's not a that okay, so we're going to do that. But here's what it does. You allow for elections to be counted long beyond the day. So let's say 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 14 days. Guys, even if I was like walking to the post office, I would be able to get to the post office before 14 days. And I would hope that they would get it to the county, which is usually not that far away. Oh, but wait, it's global, it's international mail, it's all this other stuff. Guys, when they are trying to give reasons why they, hey, Courtney Allen, good to see you, why they think it's, oh, we got to have mail-in ballots for the elderly, the infirmed, the military. But guys, they mail these out like 2 or 3 months in advance. And the idea that what you're saying that the guy on election day fills out his ballot, then puts it in the post office box, and that's what you're saying, that it could take up to 2 weeks, 2 months to get those election results in? Is that what you're telling me? Guys, I do believe that we could, through some very sophisticated technology, we could probably figure out how to get elections worldwide, even if they weren't in person or in ballot. So, Mississippi law permits the counting of absentee ballots postmarked by election day, but received up to 5 days later. We must decide whether the federal election day statute preempts Mississippi law. They do not, says Amy Coney Barrett. Now, what Amy Coney Barrett did is she followed that the individual state rights supersede the federal government. Where there's no state law, you default to federal, or vice versa. But you always go to state law first. What do I know? The election day statutes say election day statutes say nothing about ballot receipt. We cannot add to the words Congress chose. Due date for absentee ballots were shifted over time. During the Civil War, states that allowed absentee voting voting imposed an election day deadline for ballot receipt. She said, we have lots of phases that involve 2 words, lots of phrases that involve 2 words, the second which is day. Labor Day, Memorial Day, George Washington birthday, Independence Day, birthday, election day. That's what Alita was talking about. The sad part of this is that I don't know why that we've decided that we want to split the hairs on this, but again, we're representing the individual state rights. Now that right there is where I see a difference, and that's the only thing that gets me to that point with those guys. Okay, so, all right. Now, there's a real quick, I don't know if you guys, I've heard a couple of things about copper peptides. You guys need to look into copper peptides. There's some really cool stuff. Colorado Supreme Court blocks Democrat redistricting effort, and also the Supreme Court has gone in. Now, again, this is a day of court calling outs and court this and court that, and I don't know what to say that it's a Monday. I had a Monday too. Today I got up and was all fired up to go get some stuff done on the job, go and grab the trailer to get it unloaded at the dump because it was raining all last week. Go to the dump. Well, the dump's closed for truck traffic. Unless you're a dump truck, you can't go in, or a trash truck, because the dump is that much of a mess. So anyway, so that did that. Well, then the electricity wasn't on in the garage, and it was just a series of little things. And so anyway, I did get a couple little things done today, but what a Monday it has been. I tell you what, it has been that. So, hey, Julie Sharping. Yes, excited to be back. Thank you for being here, Julie. Yes, absolutely. So, I don't know if you guys have been watching, again, the FIFA stuff, the World Cup stuff. Pretty interesting watching how a lot of things are happening. The U.S. did win their match yesterday, and they won it 4-1. I happened to catch the first 10 minutes, or 10 or 20 minutes, and they scored 3 goals. And then I just happened to turn it back on to see what the score was because I knew it kind of the end of the game. And I turned it back on, and in the last seconds, it was 3-1. In the last second, America goes down and scores 4-1. So, anyway, just kind of a neat thing. I'm not a soccer fan. It's not my thing. I played soccer in 5th grade, I think it was. I played for AYSO, but anyway, American Youth Soccer Organization. Yeah, good stuff. All right. So let's hear what Trump has to say about the mail-in ballot ruling. Let's see if he actually has a sound clip here or if it is just what he said there. Oh, it goes, so he put in a True Social. In light of the tremendous loss in the Supreme Court today concerning voters' rights, the fact that the people's votes are allowed to be counted long after election is over is more important than ever to pass the Save America Act, which is all voters must show ID, identification. All voters must show proof of citizenship. And so this is where Trump is, saying, again, no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military deployment, or travel. Now, guys, this makes common sense of it. But again, what do I know? What do I know? But he's not happy of it. There's only one reason to oppose cheating. The House of Representatives has approved the Vital Act 3 times. The United States Senate seems unable to do so. Well, that's also Thune. And I tell you what, I have not been that wowed about Thune. There's nothing I'm seeing about Thune of getting anything done. In a time when there is a powerful communist movement taking place in our country, one more dangerous than World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, or September 11th, all Democrats and our 5 Republican Senate holdouts, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Tom Tillis, Billy Cassidy, and Mitch McConnell must vote to save our country. By the way, Mitch McConnell is in the hospital again. So, guys, I don't know. We talk a good talk. We talk about all this stuff. I don't know why that we have legislators that actually can't even show up. I mean, if you can't show up, then where's your surrogate? Why aren't you turning over your, again, Mitch McConnell, I don't know what that dude's doing, and I don't know how cognitive he really is. But, man, it's not good. You see him walking around, and his arms are all forward. He's like, his gait's like this. His arms are all forward. His head's all down. He doesn't look healthy. But I don't know what Mitch McConnell's doing. And by the way, he's running again. I think that is the funniest things I've ever heard of when I see this stuff is that you have these people who can't even walk around, but yet they are the ones like, oh, term limits, and I'll do this or I'll do that. And I'm like, Mitch, you're a liar. You're a liar. All right, so I just don't know if like the guy who didn't show up for 3 or 4 months and nobody knew where he was at. And then he shows up, he's like, oh, I'll talk to you next week. I don't know what that means. If you guys want to hear about some of the issues that we're having with some of these people that are talking about the transgender stuff, is this whole thing where there's an individual that is in Canada. Now, she's running for mayor, but she had to give her speech with a sock puppet. Now, I get, we all have our things and we're all trying to get through life, and life is horribly pressure filled. There's just too much of this, right? But let's go ahead and listen to the candidate running for mayor in Hamilton, Ontario. Well, this individual has decided that they're going to use a sock puppet to go ahead and show you. I saw this. Let's just watch it. Here we go.
I knew I wanted to run for mayor when Andrea Horvath refused to meet with me when I was the victim of a hate crime, and we were at the safety summit, and she had her communications person, Amanda Kinnaird, stand in front of me like I was a feral dog when I actually just wanted to be respected. That's when I knew I wanted to run for mayor.
Okay, well, there you go. But you guys saw the whole sock puppet moving thing, right? And she's like, this is when I knew I needed to run for mayor, is when she had her communications person standing in front of me like I was a feral animal. So I don't know about you, but yeah, cool that. That's a mayoral candidate. I was over when I ran for state senate, and I was trying to be the candidate, that I needed to be. I felt like I needed to be articulate. I didn't think about wearing a sock on my hand and then talking through the sock as this is what I do now. So if I do like this and I say, hi, my name is Jim Price. I do the Jim Price Show. Come see me at thejimpriceshow.com. And I had a sock on my hand. You guys would think I'm an idiot. But she wants to be taken serious and run for office. See, that's what I don't think it's like we get how serious this really is, or how almost really crazy it is. Julie says, no way that is real. Oh no, Julie, I watched it, and she is literally that. Like, that's what she's. Then there's times she just gets quiet and stares, and it is. So if she said, now listen, here's the truth in the entire sentence that she said, or this paragraph. Her communications person stood in front of me like I was a feral animal. Yes, that is exactly why the communications person stood in front of you. You were telling the truth about you being a feral animal. She just thought you were a little unhinged. She thought she might need to, kind of put some distance between you and the mayor. But no, you went ahead and told on yourself that you were acting a little feral. Just saying. That is, again, we just gotta, this is where these people, they tell on themselves, and they will tell you that there is something wrong with them. And she said, I'm a little feral. Democrat Senator Ruben Gallego under investigation of DOJ for campaign spending after Senate drops sexual misconduct probe. Man, if it ain't one way, it's another. If it ain't that way, it's another way. This way and that way, and that way and this way, and that. I mean, golly. Now, there's a video that the White House put out about the greatness of America during the World Cup, and I'm going to go ahead and play that for you so you guys can kind of see, because this is actually a thing where people are really excited about America and the things that they're doing. And let me do a couple. They got a couple of videos in here. I'll show you the first one. And this is what it's called, the Tartan Army in Boston. And these guys got into it. And just watch this. This is what everybody got excited about, is how everybody got in America and they started doing fun things. And America does fun things fun. So here we go with foreigners doing fun things in America. Okay, so that is that video there. Now that's the Scottish guys, right? And no Scotland, no party, no. And they did a whole thing. They had a whole chant of things that was very, very impressive to watch. And so this one should be the next one. And then this is the one the White House put out. So this looks like a Rumble video. It may have a commercial. Hold on. Yep, there's a commercial coming up. So
never zero your op.
Okay. Boom. And
take this for granted, because America is safe, America is clean, America is friendly. Man, this is such an awesome place. God bless America.
If you want to hate the US, listen to the media. If you want
sorry
to
guys, I was sitting there watching it myself. I was all into it.
If you want to hate the US,
granted, because America is safe, America is clean, America is friendly. Man, this is such an awesome place. God bless America.
If you want to hate the US, listen to the media. If you want to love the US, just drive across it.
We haven't got one of those here.
Oh my God, guys, we're gonna go into Target. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'm in Farley.
This is one of the
Biscuits and
best
gravy.
ones I've ever had in my life. Everything is so big. The food is great here.
This thing is lovely. This is stunning.
Vive l'Amérique. This place is incroyable. C'est incroyable.
I cannot speak English, but I'm excited!
Americans, your country is so beautiful.
If I never ever come to the USA, I would have never seen what actually goes on in America. But I actually really love it here. People are just too nice. What is going on?
You know, sometimes you just wish that people really thought that about their own country. I get choked up about it because it is mine. So it's important to me, and it is hard for me to see that people... Now, again, guys, I get on here and I gripe and complain, and I tell you, like, listen, your government's doing this. They shouldn't be doing that. They're overreaching here. You're better than that. They're better than this. They should tell us more. And these are all the things that I keep talking about because I do want us to rise above. I want us to get better. Every day being better than the day before. That's it. That's my mantra every day, trying to be better than I was the day before. Every day trying to improve. I'm trying to be faster. I'm trying to be stronger. I'm trying to be more limber, and nimble. I want to be more, better than I was yesterday because I don't think we should decline with age. I think we should get amazing. I think we should get so skillful that to get old is the prize. Is to be young is to be dumb. Oh, you got energy, you got momentum, you got all these things, but yet I got a bunch of people who are spoiled brats who have been taught how to be so lazy that if the government doesn't give it to them, they don't think it's real. They don't think they can go out and just earn for themselves and provide for themselves or provide for others, because the government is handing them so much that for them to actually reverse the flow, it seems impossible. But that's what we've done. When we talk about the welfare state, it is the laziness of the human mind that we're fighting. We're fighting the laziness in all of us, the sinful sin nature that wants to sit there and do nothing. That I'd rather gripe and complain about the government not giving me more money for food each month as I'm 300-400 pounds. See, this is the part where because America has gotten it so right, we have done so well that we keep giving it away, which makes that people go, oh yeah, keep giving it away. We just need to keep giving more. Free markets create liberty of the mind and freedom of the body. Communism is somebody who thinks they should take your stuff. Socialism is just everybody taking each other's stuff. See, communism is one dude taking everybody's stuff. Socialism is we're all doing it together. I don't think we realize how we have got such an amazing thing here in this country. But I will tell you, the propaganda machine that was turned off in 2014, you need to listen to those words. The propaganda machine that was turned on in 2014 towards America in such a way that that is how we got to where we are now, where we had 4 years of some of the most ridiculous lockdowns and fear-mongering I've ever understood in my life. Guys, I went from a guy, listen, this is what I'm talking about. Well, it changed me because I saw what the government was doing to manipulate the people. And I used to be a person that bleached everything. I mean, I would use bleach on my hands. I would use bleach on everything. If it didn't smell like bleach, it wasn't clean. But when I saw that our government was willing to go as far as they did with the propaganda, with the $1 trillion, listen, globally they have marked it down as $1 trillion in advertising alone. That's actual dollars spent globally, $1 trillion was spent to get you to take a free shot. Why did they have to spend so much money globally to get you to take something that's free? When does the government ever give you anything for free? Can you answer that? See, this is the problem in our society, is that we don't realize how much we have actually gotten into the will of laziness. We've gotten the will of that servitude, the slavery of the state. I will do everything you ask, state. Make sure that you give me my $400 a month in free food, and you pay for my rent, and you pay for my electricity. And I will do nothing just like you asked me to. And I will make sure and vote for the Democrats because that's what I want to do. Because that's the only way I get more welfare. See, the amazing thing is watching Obamacare be put in under the Student Loan Act, and then to watch that they take food stamps and put it under the farming bill. See, that's why the farming bill always gets funded. Oh, wait, yeah, wait, no, wait. It always gets funded because it's the farming bill, but they always put food stamps in there, so that way the food stamps always get funded, so the lazy ones get... But, well, no, wait, it benefits the farmers to have food stamps, right? Because more people are eating, and then it goes right, oh, wait, no, we're drinking sodas and sugar and things that are acidic to the body, causing the pH to be acidic, and that's where abnormal and cancer cells grow. Not me, the AMA. I'm not a doctor. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just read things that have been peer-reviewed. Anyway, so again, guys, there's a lot of what we're dealing with right now in our life that has to do with laziness. And the fact that people can sit around this country, and I know some of the roads aren't the best, and some of the this and that's aren't great, and they're little windy roads that aren't quite as straight or as flat as they should be, and maybe the government's this or that, but you know what? Overall, we're doing a pretty good job. We really are. Do we need to mind the store? Do we need to put our shoulder into it? Oh, yeah, we got to put some work into this thing. But the sad part of it is our laziness, the selfish sin nature, the sin nature that wants to be lazy. See, selfishness makes me want you to give it to me. Oh, just give it to me. That'd be great. Oh, you're just going to give it to me and I don't have to do anything back? Oh, really? Do you not think other human beings on earth, other than Americans, have that in their bodies? Let's say Somalians, or let's say whoeverins that came to America in a way that was not ethical or the way you should do it? Do you think they have a lazy nature that says, hey, if I could just get to that spot, then I got Easy Street. I got 5-star hotels. I got 3 hots and a cot. Boy, I got medical care. I got school for my kids. They're coming get them. Bleeber-deeber-deeber-doo. If I don't have to work for it, amen. Let's do that. Amen. I'll just sit here. Thank you. Thank you. But when you sit there, when you take that handout, when you take that ask, whatever the ask is, they say, oh, do you want to be so? Oh, yeah. Just be careful, guys. It's crazy out there. But too many times we got a lot of these people that just do not want to stop. Now there is a bit of a wave going on, and I kind of see this in some of the way that the Republicans about 20 years ago really had to reinvent themselves, and I think that's what we're still seeing a little bit of spillover with the Mitch McConnells of the world, some of the old warmongers that just love to go kill American soldiers on foreign soils. But I did see about 20 years ago there was an identity crisis within the Republican Party, and that's where we had the Tea Party, the Tea Movement. We had some other things like that going on, but Uncle Barry made sure to, investigate all those that are part of that Tea Movement and make sure and put them on under IRS investigation and make sure that they're served with as much pressure as possible, those Tea Party groups that file taxes, by doing the right thing, by filing taxes and chartering their groups and doing all that. But now, the Democrats, who, again, they thought it was cool to be extreme. They thought it was cool to go out there and just be a little more, a little extra, a little extra more. Van Jones, James Carville are both political copies. I'm sorry, both politically coping about the self-inflicted fact that the radical socialist embraced by Democrats is now causing a full-blown civil war within the Democrat Party. Now, I don't know, I swallowed wrong there. Anyway, remember back when AOC came in about 2 big election cycles ago? Remember 8 years ago or so, and she was all, the new Green Deal, Green Deal. Well, we're going to electrify everything. We'll have windmills and we'll have pigs on treadmills and we'll have solar panels on everybody's butts, and it'll just work amazing. Remember it was all about green energy? Well, they embraced the communism and they embraced the socialism. They embraced all that, including Mandandi, which just 6 months ago, 8 months ago in November and October last year, and they were all, Mr. Mandandi is so handsome with this little beard and his little he's got the little coiffy hair and he speaks so well. I just love how he just tells me that everything will be free. And I'm telling you what, right now, guys, I am looking at 2 commercial buildings I've been kind of looking at to buy, and I haven't done it before. It's a new thing I'm adventuring into. I don't have the money. I'm going to have to use the bank's money or some private equity or something, whatever it is, right? But I was looking at the rent rolls on these 2 properties that I want to buy. One's out east, one's out west, and I was thinking, hey, one's out west of Wichita, one's out east here, and they were just properties I just got curious about. And I looked at the numbers on it, and I'm like, I can't buy this. I can't buy this because the rents are not enough. And if I don't have enough rent to pay what would be the mortgage for that amount of money to buy those 2 properties, then I can't buy the property. I can't apply for the home loan if I don't have money to pay the home loan. Because the problem is that the rent, which is supposed to pay for the property, and then a little extra to kind of leave everything going, my problem is that if I got to pay X amount of dollars, how do I make that money work? Well, let me move my analogy here, just what I've been doing recently, to New York City, to high-rise apartments that may or may not have some old coal fire furnaces in the basement, or may have some water tanks on the roof for water pressure, or may have some old pipes or some old clay, sewer lines that you can't use garbage disposals in. I mean, come on, guys. So let's say I want to buy an apartment building. I'm going to spend $12 million, say. I don't know how much an apartment building is in New York City. I want to spend $12 million, okay? So that means somewhere in the range of about $12,000 to $15,000 a month. I've got to, $150,000 a month to $200,000 a month, and I got to bring that in just to pay the rent, to pay the mortgage, to pay what it should be to pay to borrow that money. Now, let's say I had the money in my bank account. Oh, Jim Price just got bank. I'm just throwing in the money. Boop, 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 right? Let's say I just write a check. Well, I got to think about that money came out of my bank or my assets. So that business, that standalone tower, can it support itself to pay me back? No. That's what the problem is if you freeze the rent, if you do rent control, if you do this kind of thing throughout the city, buildings will not have maintenance done because there's no money to pay the bills. See, a lot of these places have enormous tax debt, right, Mandandi? You're going to get all your money out of city property tax? Well, I got to pay the property tax out of the rent, but I also got to pay back the money I borrowed to buy the building. And I got to keep the roof on it, and I got to keep the brick on it, and I got to keep the paint on it, and I got to keep the lobby right, and I got to keep the water going, and I got to keep the heat going. Do you see how this is going to stop the growth of New York or anywhere that these people like AOC and Mandandi are going into? The problem is now we're seeing like this person with the sock puppet thingy, the mayor thing. Well, that's also one of those communists. See, this is a problem. I don't think we realize that a lot of these weirdos, the ones with the blue hair and doing all the, she thought I was being feral. They're the ones that are asking for this. Guys, if I don't have enough money coming in from the rent rolls of those 2 commercial properties, I cannot buy it at any level, even if it's my own money, like money I just had. Like, I got $12 million laying around. I'm going to buy that building in New York. That doesn't make sense. That's stupid. But people that are socialists who don't understand how that works, how free markets, meaning I can exchange with you at any rate I want for services or goods. That means if I want to overpay or underpay, if you want to be overpaid or underpaid, that is nobody else's business. But we don't talk like that. Free markets keep you from being lazy. Free markets actually creates a Darwin effect where those that are the less, that don't want to be motivated, just don't have anything and they stay over there. And the rest of us continue on. See, it doesn't matter because I have it and you don't, doesn't mean I have to give it to you. That doesn't work that way. Now, if I want to voluntarily give up my money to an organization or an individual or a cause, that's my choice. I get to do that in the privacy of my own home, with my own checkbook, with my own bank account. But you don't get to come in and tell me no, and you don't get to come in and tell me my building rent is here. Because you think that that's how you make people more affordable. You don't make things more affordable by freezing things. You make things more crummy. See, the problem is these buildings will all go into distress. They will eventually go into bankruptcy, and then they will then have to be rehabbed and rebought back together, just like the Village. Greenwich Village in New York went through the very same thing. The very same thing. They've already tried this shit. They tried it in the Bronx. They've tried it all over the place. It doesn't work. Look at Russia. Look what Russia went through when they fell. The reason they collapsed because they didn't have any infrastructure to prop themselves up with. When they opened the doors and allowed free markets to come in, they started making money. But when they thought they were just the cool kids club who thinks that they could take everybody's stuff and then redistribute it and it'd be okay, and everybody lives in fear. How that it doesn't work out, guys. By the way, let's do this. I bet you if we went full communist today, boom, you own nothing. Your money isn't yours. This house isn't mine. Nothing is yours. Nothing is mine. Boom, we're communist today. It will only last between 30 and 40 years. I will still be on this earth after communism fails in America. Do you guys know that? Do you realize how that actually works? That's why the free market of a constitutional representative republic was completely different. And that's why it's been able to last this long. There's like, oh, I can't believe America's lasted over 100 years. It's impossible. It doesn't work that way. But, well, it does. Because when you allow the people to rule themselves, when you allow them to go out and provide themselves, and there's no government for a backdrop, people figure it out. People are amazing. We could do a lot of cool shit. Take the government out of schooling. Watch how amazing schooling gets. Seriously. How can privatized companies come in and use the exact same $14,000 per student per year and then make a profit teaching your kids? You know, your Montessori's and your charter schools, those are all ran by corporations who make money. How do they get to make money on each of your kids by doing this, but doing a better job of it? Every time a privatized goes in, it gets better. Every time government gets in, it gets worse. Show me an example of how government has actually made it better. I really was hoping that we would find more liberty and freedom in these years. And I want us to continue fighting for it because I think if we don't start fighting, we'll never get there anyway. Because freedom and liberty is not in a big bucket they hand out at Christmas. You have to go out and find it yourself. You have to struggle and fight, the yin and the yang, the good and the bad. This is your necessity of you got to get this going. You got to be the part that does the work. That's how you have a constitutional representative republic. Not by letting others do it. That's laziness. That's the sinful heart, the selfish, sinful heart. Oh, so it goes on. This whole thing with them about that the Democrats are so surprised. Oh, I didn't know this would happen. Well, what did you think was going to happen? Because the sad thing is that people are into shiny objects. And even if the shiny object's going to hurt them, they'll stare at it till it hits them. That's the sad part of humanity sometimes. We don't always give ourselves the credit here. So, and by the way, people are literally now. Okay, I got time. I'm going to be gone this week, and I'm this week and next week. I'm going to be gone. Just to take a time out from the show here for a second. I will be traveling this week and next week. I am intending on traveling to the West Coast to visit a few people, and including George. So hopefully that will all work out. I'm going to be gone to D.C. I'll be leaving Wednesday morning, and I will be driving. I'm getting a rental, and I'm going to drive out to D.C. and do a couple stops. I might even stop by Pennsylvania, and if my daughter is in town or whatever, I might swing by and say hi to her. Now, I don't take a lot of time. You guys know that. I don't know how much time I actually really took off for my accident on January 1. I think I was pretty much back in here the week or so right after, only because I just felt like I had to. But I'm going to go ahead and take 2 weeks off. It's about 2 weeks. So basically, if I'm looking at being back either. Let me do the old. Make sure I got it right here. So as of right now, if leaving Wednesday, July 1st, I will look to be back either the 13th or the 15th. Now, I do plan on doing video recordings while I'm in D.C. I do plan on doing video recordings while I'm on the road. And so if I have the opportunity to be able to get them to upload and get them uploaded right, I will schedule them at the regular 4 p.m. Central Time. Now, they will not be, maybe I will be able to do a live, I don't know. But if they're not live, they'll have been pre-recorded, and I will put them in the show or put them on the show at a regular time. Like I said, I will see how it all goes. I'm going to be in D.C. leaving Wednesday. Looks like I'll probably stay the night somewhere in Tennessee or somewhere in that nature. Going into D.C., I don't know. We'll just see how it all goes. But what I'm pointing out to you is that there is, I don't get a lot of time to myself. And so a lot of this stuff that I'm going to go do here with the D.C. trip and then going and visiting with George, my father, I'm going to take a little time. Again, like I said, I'll probably continue wanting to do videos and stuff like that. But, guys, I just don't get a lot of extra time to myself. These shows, I go out and I do my construction stuff, and I do that stuff to try to keep the bills paid, to keep the lights on here, because the donations have, they've dropped off exponentially. Not I say exponentially, they've dropped off quite a bit since the last 2 years. And I've seen that in our economy. I know what's going on in your guys' checkbooks. I get it. I see it. It's not good. You don't feel good. So hopefully we'll get some of this turned around. You'll start feeling better about a few things. But at the end of the day, I don't take a lot of time for myself. When I go out of town to these conventions, to these events, I'm up 12, 15 hours each day. And so these are not me laying by the pool, playing a little beach volleyball, stuff like that. I really don't get that time very often, and it has been a little while. So I am going to take this time to go to D.C. to celebrate the 250. For the 250 celebration, I am a Kansas ambassador for the Celebration 250. So I thought I would announce that today as well, that I am the ambassador for Celebration 250 for the state of Kansas. And so, anyway, I'm going to be meeting with a few people in D.C. while I'm there this week and over the weekend. Like I said, I'll be driving back, and I'll probably be coming back through here next week. Should be back here through Wichita either Monday or Tuesday. And then I had planned on continuing on from there on to Phoenix and to Nevada as well, and maybe California. I don't know. We'll just see how everything goes. I know that there's an event in DC, or not DC, but in Vegas at now get this, Harrah's is putting on at Caesar's Palace. They're putting on a huge Patriot Fest. I don't know if you guys know about this. Glenn Beck and others will be there. So it's kind of turning into a thing. I didn't know. I have applied for my press passes. I have been so far approved. I do have to submit a little bit more information, but I'm not sure what that is. They asked me to do another form, which is no big deal. But anyway, so it looks like I will be taking a little time off. Not that big, not a lot of time, just a little time. And be able to go visit and visit with my dad, meet him for the first time. Try to get that done as we're doing these things. But like I said, there is a Vegas event I think it's the second weekend of July. So maybe I'll just kind of swing by, do that, visit George and all that stuff. We'll see how it goes. So anyway. But, guys, there's a lot of stuff that I do, and I know that it doesn't always represent well on the camera, but this is who I have. This is what I do. This is who I am. I do a lot of other things outside of this. I am not a one-trick pony. If I say, well, people say, well, what do you do? It's like, well, I do a TV radio show, gets broadcast out, this and that, and they'll be like, oh, that's cool. And they're like, well, why are you doing this remodel? Why are you doing this restoration? Why are you doing like? Well, because I do all that too. I like to keep the lights on here, and I like to do those things, but I do enjoy this. This is a very hard part of my day, a lot of what I do for the show and things like that. There will be some coming changes to the website while I'm gone. There's going to be some conversations had with the website designer and things. So the website will be tuned up. In fact, I think right now what we'll be doing is actually you could go to the JimPriceShow.com, and then you'll be able to watch my episode live there. So we're going to see if we can get that to link up. So on my homepage, if I'm streaming live or if there's a show, you should be able to click on it and then be able to go watch it. So we'll see how that all goes with the website guy. Just haven't done anything on my website in probably a couple years, and it's kind of stale. There's some sponsors on there I need to take off, some other stuff I need to tune up. So I'll be doing that. But anyway, so I'll be in D.C., Washington, D.C., for the 4th of July on Saturday, and so we'll see how all that goes. I'm looking forward to it. D.C. is D.C. There's a lot of things that, there's a lot of buildings to see, but we'll see how that all goes. I don't know. I've been to D.C. quite a bit. Over the last 4 years, I have been to D.C. so much I can't remember how many times. I've literally driven in D.C. more than I have ridden in D.C. That sounds kind of weird, but I've actually driven my truck around D.C. more than I have been ridden around in D.C. I don't know how that's happened a couple times, but it is what it is. That's what it happens. So my truck has been really great to me. I've enjoyed it so much, but the old girl's got a few miles on her now that we've driven across this country a few times. All right, well, that's about it on that whole thing, but I just want to let you guys know that, I'm taking a little time. We'll see how it goes. I do have this weird sense of I need to be here. I do that quite often, why I think it's like, oh, why am I taking this time, this and that? And I really pressure myself a lot with not taking time off. And I don't know why. I mean, that's just old school training and all that good stuff. Huge prayers protection, says Julie D. Absolutely. Absolutely, Julie. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. So yeah, she said she's sorry she's late, but we won't count that against you, Julie, because here at the Jim Price Show, half of your grade is participation and attendance. So you got to talk and be here. So thank you for both. All right, guys. So anyway, just be mindful of what's going on. I do have a show tomorrow. I will be here tomorrow. And like I said, there'll be a few things changing. I'm going to, there's going to be some things here on the Jim Price Show. We're going to try to get a little better, posting some reels, doing those things. So again, your donations are greatly accepted because that helps push all those things forward whenever you do that. So be mindful if you guys are thinking about donating. Don't mind shoving it my way. I really do appreciate it. There you go. George says it's in our son DNA, or it's in our DNA, son. Actually, I read that backwards. Thank you, George. Thank you, sir. Anyway, guys, be good to each other out there. There's a lot of things going on right now. Please do not jump to the conclusions that everybody wants to portray on the news. The amount of propaganda that's in our daily news, including Fox, is actually very disturbing. There's really, I watch a little bit of the daytime stuff because I feel like it's more newsy. But after Ingram comes on, I don't watch it. I watch maybe a little bit of Jesse Waters because I think he's funny once in a while, because I think he's trying to be funny. But the rest of Fox is mostly propaganda, and even like I only clip it on, like I try to catch at the top of the hour and the 30, because that's kind of when they do their breaking news. And I try to keep it pretty much down the middle. But again, there's a lot of propaganda in there. So much propaganda in the commercials. I don't think you guys realize how much propaganda is in commercials as well. That we've gotten so used to propagandized commercials that for people to tell you the truth, you think they're lying to you. That's really the whole shift of where we've gotten into. But anyway, good stuff out there. All right, guys, thank you so much for all you guys are doing out there. Good attendance today. Thank you for a great Monday. It's awesome seeing everybody out there. Like I said, I'll be here tomorrow, and then I will be posting stuff while I'm on the road, while I'm out doing things. So just, watch for those. Like I said, if I get an episode or maybe a 20-minute clip or something, or I got good reception, I can do a live. Or if I just want to clip it and then go ahead and produce it at 4 o'clock, just be watching for those, guys. I will be trying to do that as often as possible, but no promises, right? So we'll see how all that goes. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Yeah, that's about it for today. I'm Jim. Oh, I got to do the thing, right? 10%. The 10% we do for our neighbor, community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, less they have to do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. There will be a far, far better place. Remember, hold the line, hold fast. Do not give up. Do not give in. We'll win. I promise. I make promises can't keep, guys. You've always been the answer out there. Remember that Constitution? Well, that limits the government, but never limits you. Understand your authority. Understand your power. Do not give your authority over to people who do not deserve it. Our government does not deserve our authority. They are beholden to us. And until you act like it, they will act like that. So don't complain. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. It's been good seeing you. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys will be good to each other out there, and I will see you guys tomorrow.